Talking about matters of wokeness, let's talk about Disney. Now, we told you last month about how they were the latest big business to say they were going to undo most of their DEI policies. It's amazing what Trump has been able to do since he became president. But there are some things that you can't undo, like multi-million-dollar movies that you have already commissioned.
All right, folks, today we're diving into Disney's latest train wreck, their woke remake of Snow White. You've probably heard the buzz, or should I say, the groans about this film. Disney is doubling down on wokeness while hemorrhaging money and alienating their audience. Let's break down this mess and see how far Disney has fallen.
But they've sniffed the wind and realised there is a problem here. Now, next week, there is a new version of Snow White coming out, and unlike most Disney films, it won't be an animated one. It's actually got actors and actresses in it. Oh, can I say actors and actresses anymore? That would be to deny that there are many other genders, I suppose. Let's just call them people who act, maybe. Anyway, they've got this new Snow White film coming out, and there are a few problems with it. Let's start with the fact that originally in Snow White, there is a reason that Snow White is called Snow White. It's because her mother, the Queen, says that she wishes that she had a daughter whose skin was white as snow, lips as red as blood, and her hair as black as ebony. And of course, later in the story, her wicked stepmother, the new Queen, says, you know, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? At age 7, Snow White becomes the fairest of all. She is white as white as white. So this is where we ran into our first problem, because this is the girl playing Snow White.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Rachel Zegler clearly is not the fairest of them all. She is Hispanic. She has Colombian heritage. They've also decided that we can't have the 7 dwarves anymore. Instead, they have 7 people of varying heights and ethnicities and God knows what else, sexualities, etc. Because, you know, we've got to be all-inclusive now.
Let's talk about the 7 dwarves. Universally loved characters that Disney just had to mess with. Instead of the iconic, personality-filled miners we all grew up with, we now get 7 diverse individuals. Why? Because apparently 7 short miners aren't inclusive enough for woke Disney. This isn't progress, it's pandering, and the audience isn't buying it.
So knowing that there's a bit of trouble here, and it's not really the Snow White that anyone remembers, Disney has now decided that instead of the full court press red carpet premiere that they would give to a film, they're going to have a watered-down version. It's going to be a very quiet event. Only select media will be able to attend. Instead of the stars of the film walking down the red carpet to the premiere, talking to all the members of the press and having their photo taken, there's only going to be about 4 reporters there because they know no one wants it. Isn't it rather unfortunate that after all this money they've spent, you know, all the diversity boxes have been ticked, they've realised that people don't actually want to watch a Disney film to see Snow White, who's actually a Hispanic woman who basically, you know, cans the idea of Snow White in the first place. Oh, you know, Prince Charming, how dare he be involved? The whole thing is a joke. And the best bit is that they know it. They actually know it. That is why they're not having a full-on red carpet. Finally, they've realised what's going on.
Yeah, Disney are about to run full speed into the new America. This will be the first time that a movie studio has launched a movie hoping nobody notices. If only they could lock Snow White in the castle, Liz. I mean, this will not be the fairest premiere of them all. The first trailer to be released on YouTube clocked up 1.4 million dislikes, and the second trailer that was released clocked up 900,000 dislikes. That's before the movie hits the cinemas. And it wasn't just the fact that the movie itself, as you said, Caleb, has got all these woke elements, but Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White, she decided to insult most of the audience who would go and see this. Speaking of Trump supporters, she described them as a deep sickness that has infected the country. So when you've got an actress who's insulting the audience combined with a woke movie, you can almost be guaranteed that this is going to disappear at the box office. And Disney, having such a low-key premiere, just reeks of embarrassment. They're embarrassed to be putting this movie out in the current environment.
Well, but just to remind you of how deeply embedded and accepted this kind of pushing LGBTIQ agenda, pushing DEI agenda to your kids through the screen, how acceptable that was at Disney. Check out this clip from 2022 of executive producer LaToya Raveneau, executive producer at one of the Disney shows, telling you how hard she was going pushing queerness and other gender theories onto your kids.
The showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last like they're turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss, let's in the background like I was just wherever I could just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family, but like I just was like no one would stop me.
They're loud and proud about it.
Did you catch that? A Disney executive producer proudly admitted to pushing a not at all secret LGBTQ agenda onto kids. Why does this need to be forced into children's shows? It's not representation, it's indoctrination. Now, after losing billions, Disney's backtracking on DEI. Too little, too late, non-woke parents are fed up.
And who's watching, you know, the basic and generally wholesome entertainment of Disney to get that kind of message? It's not what the consumer wants, which goes to the point. That's why they've been hemorrhaging money. Rachel Zegler says that the reason Snow White is called Snow White in this version of the film, because of course she is not white as snow, is because she and her family go through a snowstorm and survive the snowstorm, and so it's a mark of her resilience. That's why she's called Snow White.
Did I just hear that correctly? Snow White is now named after surviving a snowstorm? Are you kidding me? This is peak woke nonsense. This is Disney trying to retrofit a classic story to fit their modern agenda, and it's embarrassing. And let's not forget Rachel Zegler's comments insulting Trump supporters, way to alienate half your potential audience.
I mean, they're just completely rewriting the whole point of why Snow White is Snow White to make it somehow PC in 2025. There's nothing wrong with the basis of Snow White.
I got to say, my kids have got Disney Channel, and when you see what Disney have done to Star Wars, is it any surprise what they're doing to Snow White? I mean, the writing was always on the walls. They have destroyed the Star Wars franchise.
Indeed. And it's little wonder critics of this film that they haven't even seen yet are calling it off-white and the 7 pronouns.
Well, there you have it, folks. Disney's Snow White remake is shaping up to be another woke disaster. Disney is proving that no amount of magic can save them from their own hubris. What do you think? Is this the final nail in the coffin for Disney's legacy? Or will they wake up and realize that wokeness doesn't sell? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unfiltered takes. Until next time,